Okay, well, it does look a little bit better. At least you can see the other end. The farthest stake down there is the corner where it turns and goes back toward the road. So I got all the trees out of the way and got the 2 terraces leveled out that it crossed and everything. So I'm gonna come back tomorrow sometime and smooth everything up. But that's basically what it was. There was a lot of trees and brush and that, and they come up real good. I mean, every now and then I hit one that wasn't wanting to come out. But here's that old foundation of where that old homestead used to be up here. I don't know if this was a barn or a house, but might have been a house, I don't know. Then over here's the old cistern that they had, and of course it's hand dug, and that had to be pretty tough because this hill's got some rock underneath it. Pretty good ways down there to be hand dug. Anyway, there's another old terrace that kind of kept the water and stuff away from the hill and the house, I meant. So seen a bunch of old bottles. That's a pretty good sized terrace right there that went around this hill, and that's where I leveled it out where the fence is going to cross it, so there wouldn't be no hump in the fence. And the pond looks pretty good down there where sun hitting that water and everything. I say it probably likes 2 foot going around the spillway. So I had to cut some of these terraces up here to let a little bit more water go down toward that tank, or help it out some. That's pretty slow drainage off of this hill here, but this one big terrace went all the way around the brush, and it catches water from that bulldozer and this way. So I went down there about halfway around that other side, and I cut it in 2 places. I cut it right up here in the corner, then I cut it over there where that big tree is. So I mean, this is still a pretty good sized terrace. So that would allow any water that come off this hill, instead of just sitting up here and soaking in the ground, it would go ahead and go through there and go down to that tank. So it's looking pretty good anyway. So anyway, thank y'all for watching this channel. If you hadn't subscribed, go ahead and do that and hit the like button and share it with all your friends. And if you got any comments or questions, just feel free to comment on everything. I'll try to get everything answered if I know the answer. So if not, I know someone that will. So anyway, so till we see what tomorrow brings, remember, keep your blade shiny, your tracks clean. Bye. Okay, I just got through smoothing this up a little bit from yesterday evening when I quit. I just come out here and back drug it a little bit, and it dried a little bit. It wasn't near as gummy, but it was still working good. And like I said, it's everything, the big old trees pulled up. And I did a introduction to this thing before I started yesterday, which you can see when you watch the video how thick it was, but I had my camera set wrong, so you don't doing the introduction on time lapse, it don't turn off too good when you play it back. So anyway, I was talking about some of these mesquite trees and how thick they are up here. Like I said, this used to be a field because it's got terraces in it, and when you quit farming, usually in this part of the country, they just turn to mesquite trees. And even I don't know how long this has been, you know, it could have been 80-90 years ago since this was farmed. I've plowed fields 45 years ago, and they quit farming it, and you go by there today and the mesquite trees are so thick you can't walk through them, and they're 15 or 20 foot tall, but they're all bushy. And usually if you see a single trunk tree or maybe a double, that's a tree that has come up from seed and nothing has ever happened to it. So I've got some mesquite trees in my yard that are single truck trees. They come up from seed, and when they do that, they make nice shade trees, or partially shade, but they just get so thick after a while. But when you see a mesquite tree that looks like this, it was a single trunk tree at one time, and it's either was mowed down, it was broke off, the fire come through here and took the top down, and it fell down. Here's some old dead wood here. But a mesquite tree doesn't die just because you break the top off, and when it comes back, it'll come back just like a bush. It'll have 5-6 branches coming out of it, or trunks coming out of it, and the more you hit it and the more you run over it, it just almost doubles its size as far as coming back, and the stump never dies. It keeps growing. So I've hit little old bushes like this, and they'll have more of a stump than a big single trunk tree like you see over there. There's not much stump on them big single trunk trees, but when you get one like this that's been cut down or broke off, that stump keeps growing. If you used to do the same thing, if you used to cut this single trunk tree off at the ground, it would just come back up a bush, and all that time while it's coming back, the stump's still a growing. These have twice as much stump in there as the single trunk trees, so they're hard to kill. You're not going to cut one down and kill it. You just about either got to poison it or pull it out of the ground, put it in a pile and burn it. So, but that's what happens to a lot of these fields around here. So, but it's just, when you see trees this thick and big, you just wonder how long it's been since it was plowed and everything. So had to been a long time. So anyway, we got the fence row finished, and gonna take everything in probably tomorrow and see what other kind of project we get into. So again, appreciate you watching this channel. If you hadn't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Got any questions or comments, and put them on there. And till we meet again, remember, keep your blade shiny and your tracks clean. Bye. I'm gonna walk over here and look at the tank. Like I say, it was dug, cleaned it out in August. Had about 5 foot of mud in it, and I put it over here, then I covered it up with dirt, and then I dug it down deeper. There's that terrace that shows up better this evening that goes around the edge of the field. I cut that terrace out where that water, what come down, it would come down here and go to the tank. And then this thing is acting like a terrace. Any water that's trying to come, instead of going behind the dam, it'll come into here. It's not a great big tank, but it's, I believe it's about 14-15 foot deep. And then there was probably more of a fence row over there, and right in between them two big mesquite trees I cut that fence row out, so that water will come down through here. Quite a bit of it run down through here. You can see it kind of washed this off. I think he's supposed to build his home and stuff up that direction. And we're all more of a hill than what you realize when you get away from it. You're driving up here to this from every direction. So, but yes, you can have a tank on top of a hill if you can get water to it. So, and he can. So we got that figured out. So anyway, that's just a look at the tank before we leave. Maybe one time I'll come up here and it'll be full of water. Say that's the spillway over there, so it likes 2.5 foot being full of water. So. There's another big pond at the end of that where them big trees are. That's a old fence row, and then we built the waterway on this side of the fence, and that field used to have terraces in it right there. That belongs to the same person. We leveled off them terraces. They're going to put a new system in there whenever that waterway gets grass. So, and you can see there's where that green grass and the white looking grass, that's a terrace that used to go into that waterway over there, and we did away with it. We're going to watch it. If that tank ever needs any more water, we can dig that out a little bit and block it off and get that water to come through here. So